Dickinson is one of America's all-time greatest poets. She is mostly known for her works such as Nobody Who Are You and Hope is a Thing with Feathers. But one of the poems that really stuck out to me is poem 640, also known as I Cannot Live With You. This particular poem is a poem that is basically a love poem, but it's not your typical love poem. It doesn't have a happy ending, and they don't no happy fairy tale or anything. And it definitely is one that keeps you wondering throughout this whole poem. She basically rants about how her and this man cannot be together and why they cannot be together. She is definitely scared of her feelings and of life and love and just all of that mess. She doesn't want to be a part of it. So she hides behind her poetries and her books. Stanzas 1 through 3 explain why they cannot live together. In lines 1 through 4, she states, I cannot live with you, it would be life, and life is over there behind the shelf. This is exactly what led me to believe the idea that she hides behind her books and her poetry. She also uses a metaphor involving being locked up by a sexton, which is a church official who basically just keeps the church, handyman pretty much, takes care and maintains the church property. This metaphor is meaning her life would be with him would be like a prison. There would be no freedom, no passion, no emotion or anything, and those are all things that her poetry provides for her. So she would rather have her poetry, and she's kind of picking her poetry over him. Stanzas 4 through 5 explain why they cannot die together. She feels as if death is too difficult for her and him to handle. She doesn't want to deal with that kind of pain. This is another reason why I argue that she is scared of life and emotions, just because she doesn't want to even go through life with him because it leads up to death. She talks about one shutting the other's eye as they pass away, and she physically wouldn't be able to do that. It would be too hard for her, and she doesn't want him to go through that for her either. So all in all, she doesn't want to see him die, but she doesn't want him to see her die either. She just thinks it would be too hard, so she'd rather not even go with life with him or live with him or anything with him to prevent that from happening. Stanzas 6 through 7 explain why they cannot resurrect together. In lines 20 through 23, she states that she could not rise with him because in her eyes he's above Jesus. She puts him on a pedestal, and she doesn't live for Jesus. She's not a very Christian person. She feels like compared to him, she would have no chance of making it into heaven because he's very godly and he puts God first, and she does not. She puts him first, and she doesn't feel worthy enough to be accepted by Jesus because she didn't live for him like she should have. Stanzas 8 through 11 explain why they cannot make it through final judgment together. She states, they judge us how for you served heaven, you know or saw it that I could not. Meaning she could not go through final judgment because she did not serve Jesus as the way she did. Kind of like in the last stanza, that she just wanted to be accepted into heaven, or she feels like she wouldn't be accepted into heaven because she did do right by Jesus, which she should have. Stanza 12, our last stanza, explains why it's best for them to live apart. There is no hope for the relationship at all, pretty much. She's saying, just because of her religious ways and her values of life, she's not really an emotional person, and she just doesn't want to deal with all that. In conclusion, whether Emily wrote this poem about herself or about someone else, or just in this character in particular, she's not really, she's very scared of emotions and life and love, and she doesn't want to deal with the pain that comes with it. She'd rather just hide behind her poetry and her writing and not have to deal with anything, not have to deal with people, not have to deal with the man that she loves. So she kind of hides herself behind her poetry to not deal with that. She's kind of, in her mind, saving herself from all that pain, and she'd rather just not deal with it.